Now that camp's done, how do you feel about your team? Where do you like what you saw? Where do you want to see improvement?
Well, I thought we made advancement in camp. I thought we sustained energy in camp. We were able to stay relatively healthy. Obviously, we got we've taken a couple of losses that way, but on the whole, I feel good about where we are in terms of our health and spirit, enthusiasm. I thought early in camp was about establishing that identity, that total effort, a level of toughness. We had to work our way into that. I think here later in camp, it's become about finding mastery in the fundamental technical skills and in the schematics or the tactics, and I've seen advancement that way. I think I'm excited. I think anytime you're excited about something, there's an element of the unknown. We have a young team, a team that has new members that are now acclimated, but we've yet to be tested in a game, and so that's the nature of college football. We're going to learn a lot about where we are, a week from tomorrow. But I'm pleased with the work the guys have put in. I think our players have worked really hard to make this a great camp for us. I think our coaches have worked really hard, and now it's time for us to dial in to our game plan and shift to a level of focus that allows us to find success. He did. Look, anytime you're dealing with a young player, there's going to be good days and bad days and mistakes made, and we got to learn from mistakes. One of the biggest things that I wanted him to do was relax and play and not sweat those things. And it's one reason you name a starter in the summer is to try to alleviate some of that feeling of competition. I think he's positioned well for success next Saturday. I think we need to just dial into the specifics of the plan. And anytime you're playing against a team with a new coaching staff and a new identity, a lot of new players, a part of his success is going to be adjusting and adapting in the moment. So, we have to prepare him for that. We will, but I've been pleased with his progress so far.
Is there a more unique situation opening the season in Hawaii? You're spending a week out there. How do you take into account for all of that as you prepare?
We talked this morning. We got to narrow our focus here. Focus on less. Right now, we got to focus on this trip on Sunday and beating the trip. Then we have to beat the week, which means we're going to have activities, we're going to do community service, we're going to do some things that will build into us. But we also can't allow them to serve as distractions. We have to beat the preparation, meaning we have to maintain a level of focus through the week. And then it'll be about beating the environment, which it'll be a harsh environment, and then making sure our team has self-mastery. And all that lines up to then say we can focus our attention on Hawaii and unleashing our preparation that way. But we can't skip steps this week. We're going to have to, our team's going to have to be mature and handle it the right way, and I'm trusting them to do that.
How do you feel about the offensive line?
I feel good. I think they've Coach Bozik's done a great job. I think the player leadership in that room, the connectivity in that room, I've been pleased with how they've performed. I think we're way ahead of where we were a year ago. As we move, obviously, part of playing O-line in the SEC is you're gonna block the nation's best, and so there's a lot yet to be tested in terms of just sustaining a level of chemistry and communication and execution. But these guys have a way better feel for system. They have a way better feel for each other. There's way tighter lines of communication, and I think they're operating with an identity, a spirit of toughness, which is always a good thing to do.
Davis, good to go?
Is
Running
that
back?
Ray Davis?
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he's great. He's had a good camp. I think, you look a year ago in spring, and I don't remember how many backs we had. It was like 2 or 3, and they got beat up a year ago in the spring, and then in the fall, obviously he came into the fall kind of just beat up a little bit. It's been nice to see him have the full year to recover. He's had a great camp, and that position group's a strength for our offense. We're excited for them to have the opportunity to go play.
How does Mike's voice and influence help this team?
Well, he's got a dynamic and magnetic personality. I think, again, anytime you're dealing with 18 to 22, you're always growing leadership, and so when he's dialed in to a message, when he's dialed into the moment, he could be as good as anyone I've been around in terms of rallying that emotion, that spirit in the moment to move a unit forward. But playing that position is maintaining that voice when you're dealing with your own disappointment, your own frustration, and that's where I want to continue to see growth and maturity. Again, he's not all the way there yet, but I don't judge him for that. I mean, I think that's part of growth, and so we got to help him to that. And certainly he's responsive to our messages, and I think he desires to be great in that role.
Injuries at the star position. You had the Capers one. You got a couple other guys that have missed some time. How do you handle that for week one?
Well, we will have a healthy group to put on the field against Hawaii, and I'm excited about, obviously we returned some experience there with Owusu, but you've had BJ and Darren step up as younger players in ways that get you excited about seeing them out on the field too. And that, again, that's why last year's that first class was so important. We knew we needed to supplement depth. We hated losing Miles. Obviously I was so excited for him to experience the fruits of all his labor. I mean, he's worked as hard as anybody in the program, but we have to have a next man up mentality, and it happens to be with younger players for us, and it's a great opportunity for them. You recruit to the message of coming in and having an impact, and sometimes that happens, and other times it doesn't. I think both Darren and BJ have demonstrated a readiness for that role. That doesn't mean they're not going to make mistakes, but when you play freshmen, you're gonna have flashes of what is to be, and then you're gonna have times where you have to coach through errors, and we'll have the patience to do that with them.
Good. Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
guys.
Thank
Great
you,
to
Clark.
see you guys.